Guys, coming up, Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley.
Ooh.
They're joining us right here on Inside the Ring.
Did you stare it up?
Joining me. Joining me.
Oh, gosh.
Exactly the fight he wants.
Tonight, he'd be fantastic. It was just a matter of time.
And that is the shot he was looking for. Oh, great featherweight, good shot. And we will see him in the semifinals.
This place has just come alive. This is extraordinary. It's bizarre. It's mad. What a shot from Joe Parker. Round one KO. Fabio Wardley's done it.
Welcome back to Inside the Ring. I'm Max Kellerman, and I'm joined now by Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley, who, of course, have a big fight coming up against each other. Thank you both for being here. Joseph, I'd like to start with you. You've been in some big fights. You are a very experienced heavyweight contender. You've been a belt holder. You have a guy in Wardley who's younger and not as tested as you have been. How do you assess his threat?
You know, you can only take him for the fights that he's had. And every fight that he's had, he's come on top, you know. And even though a lot of people touching on this last fight we had with Justice Huni, where he was down on the cards and he pulled out a big right hand. So he does carry his power with him throughout the whole fight, you know, from round 1 to round 12. In that case was round 10. And I guess with each fight he's had, he's improved and getting better and better. So I've been in the ring with many top fighters, and I've been in the ring with a lot of power punchers. And I do feel that my level is above Fabio Wardley, but we'll see. Time will tell.
Joseph, you started out as a really dynamic, fast-rising prospect. You had your ups and downs, but from my point of view, it seems as though you're the classic case of a prospect who became a contender and have gotten better and better as you've gotten older through experience, right? How do you use that experience that has now gotten you to this level as a fighter against an inexperienced fighter?
You know, I know that Fabio Wardley is a lot more inexperienced than I am, but I do believe that the team he has behind him will make good adjustments and the way that he's approached this fight, and obviously the game plan. But I do feel with this experience that I have being a world champion and fighting in front of many, you know, big crowds, but also fighting top contenders, I do feel that the experience that I have will be too much for him. That's what I feel.
Fabio, you've risen very quickly. I mean, no amateur experience, a handful of white-collar fights, and now you're fighting Joseph Parker in front of the whole world. Do you, first of all, can you describe what the journey has been to this point? Like, how prepared do you feel for this fight, for this moment?
Yeah, look, it's been a crazy roller coaster of a ride throughout my career with the ups and the way it's just kind of taken off, and how I've been kind of thrust full force into boxing, and I've grabbed it with both hands and taken every opportunity in front of me. And look, that's what's been preparing me along this journey, because unlike a lot of other people, I've had to do every bit of my learning in front of the cameras, in front of everyone else, and I've had to learn on the job in the ring at the time. So you've seen where maybe I've lacked and where I'm not doing so well, but you've also seen how I can learn and come back around. And that's what this step is as well. It's another learning platform for me to step up to something bigger.
You know, you're obviously, you have to be a very talented guy to get to where you are now, is, you know, given your limited experience. And you have real athletic ability and punching power, and that's obvious. What I notice about you is, and I think it was smart actually, but that's why I'm asking this question. You don't have kind of a classical boxing style. And I imagine that's because if you try to do it the way everyone else is doing it, and they have a million-year head start on you, it might not turn out so great. So you seem to have a kind of looser sort of style that fits an athletic kind of guy more, without all the basics necessarily the way everyone else does them. Is that by design? Was that your thought? Like, hey, I can't just do it like everyone else. They're too far ahead. I got to kind of have an asymmetrical strategy. Or is that just because you feel comfortable doing it that way?
Yeah, look, it's half and half with that. It is that we looked at it and how I got into the sport so late and looked at these other fighters with all their long stretch of amateur records and amateur pedigree, and I wasn't going to catch them up specifically in those departments. But also, it's a credit to my coach as well, who's been with me from the start, who has allowed me to find my feet. He never tried to box me into a style. We always were very free flowing. We always picked spaces and styles and movements and certain things that we felt worked for us and were slightly unconventional for a heavyweight as well, and certain ways of going about things. But he never tried to put me off or tell me, look, this is exactly how you should to be. You need to box like this. It has to be X, Y, Z. Actually, us as a team, we built this style, if you want to call it, over years of picking pieces and piecing bits together of what actually we think works best for me with my size, my build, and the way I fight.
So, Joseph, I don't know how much of this you've heard, but I've been talking about it on this show, where the guy everyone's looking at in the division right now is Atama. And when people talk about Joseph Parker not getting the shot at Usyk yet, if you ask them, but who do you think's going to win? Everyone says Usyk. And that may be one of the reasons why you haven't gotten the fight yet. Not enough people believe. They all know you deserve the fight. You've earned the fight. You're an excellent fighter. But not enough people believe you'll win that fight. And maybe that's why you haven't already gotten that shot. Does this fight play into that at all? Or do you just disagree with my analysis?
No, you're right. I guess it's a lot of people do think that if I did have the chance to fight Usyk, that he'll win. So this fight is important in that sense, where I have to go out there and perform. I have to go out there, perform, and look good doing so. And I am very excited for this fight because I got a live, young, challenging opponent in front of me. He's going to bring out the best of me. I've had the best camp I've ever had. I'm in shape, so there are no excuses. So I want to go out there with this fight with Fabio Wardley and put on a great performance. I know he's prepared and everything else, but I need to look good doing so and then get that big fight, get that big fight down the road. But for now, this is the fight that means everything to me.
Yeah, and you're 33 years old. It's funny how time flies because it feels like just a second ago you were this rising prospect who figured it into this emerging heavyweight picture with Fury and Wilder and Anthony Joshua and maybe Usyk was going to come up from cruiser. And I thought you were in that picture with those guys, and suddenly it's like we're in a whole other era. You've acknowledged at 33 now that you don't have unlimited time, right? How has that urgency affected your preparation or the way you're thinking about this fight or your willingness to take risks? Has it had an effect?
Of course. I do feel like I've been in the sport for a long time. And I remember there were a few fights in the beginning of my career, or say for the Ruiz fight that you were calling the fight, and that was a while ago, So I think time is not really on my side. And the time that I do have in boxing, I just want to be involved in big and the best fights and fight the best fighters out there. And I do believe Fabio Wardley is one of the best fighters out there with what he's done and where he's ranked. And also it can lead me into more bigger fights.
Yeah, I mean, I think
time goes quick. Time goes very quick.
One thing that's universally acknowledged in boxing, Joseph, is that you have earned your spot for sure. Never ducked the heat at all. Fabio, fighting a guy like that who has been in that many top heavyweight fights and has done well in them. Even in times he's lost, he's done really well in his losses, even against the top guys. What's your mindset entering Saturday against a guy like this?
Yeah, look, I know exactly what I'm in for. Joe's got a long track record of being competitive, being at the top level, and obviously taking out, as his last little run he's been on, and taking out some top contenders as well. So there's no way to kind of shy away from it or kind of pretend like Saturday is not going to be a huge challenge in of itself. But the one thing you've seen from me in my career is that in big moments, big occasions, they are where you get the best out of me. The lights get brighter and I do get better. They bring out a different gear in me, a different mode. And that's exactly why we picked Joe and why we wanted him, because there is a lot of coming off the Justice Hooney fight. There is a lot of kind of naysayers in the sense of about how they think I've reached my level or this is as far as I can go in the sport. And I picked out the biggest, baddest, the next one around, he's number 2 in the division with the Ring magazine. So there's no better opponent to pick, take out and stake my claim on.
Fabio, if you're ready for Joseph Parker, particularly if you beat Joseph Parker, that means you're ready for anyone. It's time to once you fight a Joseph Parker, it means you're ready to fight anybody in the world because he's just about as good as anybody in the world. He's shown it throughout his career. Whether on that given night that guy's a little better or he's a little better, he's at that top level. If I told you right now that if you beat Joseph Parker, you get a shot at Usyk next, what do you say to that?
Yeah, look, that is the dream. That is everything. Not like singly, obviously being a world title shot. That is when you get into boxing, that is what you're aiming for. But to step into the ring and take on a challenger, take on a fighter like Alexander Usyk as well, a generational talent, a generational great, that is more than the cherry on top as well. But again, with all that being said and everything that we know could come after this fight, that can't take away from what is immediately in front of me and the task that is in front of me.
And Joseph, the same question, like I know, as Fabio just said, you obviously can't look past each other. But part of what makes this such an interesting matchup is the stakes are very high because it looks like on the other side of this could be a shot at the heavyweight champion of the world. Not a guy who holds a belt, not the heavyweight champion of a sanctioning body, but the heavyweight champion of the whole wide world. What does that mean to you that this guy could be the last obstacle in your way?
This is it. Let's fight right now. I'm ready to go now. I know that. Listen, there's a lot of Usyk is next, and the winner of this fight will get Usyk. But listen, everything is up to Usyk. So it doesn't really matter what anyone says. I just want to get this fight done and then move on to the next big fight. But for now, this is the biggest fight in my career. If I don't get this right, there's no point in me talking about no other fights.
Right. Hey, Fabio, before I let you go, how's the fight end on Saturday night?
Look, all my fights are dramatic, entertaining, and all my fights today have finished with a Fabio Wardley win, and I'm planning to do exactly the same on Saturday night.
Joseph, same question.
All the best to Fabio, but this is my time. This is going to be a Parker win. Then I'm going to go straight to the shop and get a dessert, have some nice food, and have a nice chill with the family. Come on, Fabio, let's get it on.
Gentlemen, a pleasure talking to you both. I look forward to this one. Thank you and good luck to both of you. Stick around. It's Inside the Ring.
Anthony Yarde, he fears no man. He wants David Benavidez, and there's not a lot of fighters in the world that do.
Body shot from Yarde. Shot to the head. Down he goes. Solid shot. Right hand.
Anthony Yarde.